Hi, everyone. My name is Cody Hankerson, Organizing Director for March for Science Action, and this is our third episode of March for Science News, our weekly series where we talk about current events through the lens of science advocacy. And we'll also be providing a lot of organizational updates for those of you who have been tracking our progress, especially over these past couple of months. And this week I'm subbing in for Rania as host, but I'm joined by two of our amazing community managers, Rachel Alter, who is a med student with a master's in public health and is leading our vaccine boosters program, and Bridget McGann, who is our content and production team lead. Hey, y'all.
Hey, how's it going? Glad to be here today.
Hi, glad to be here.
Awesome. And before we jump in, I'd love for each of you to just share how you got involved with March for Science and what you're doing when you're not helping build the movement.
Go ahead, Rachel.
Sure. I've been the vaccine person here since maybe 2018 or so. I got involved through my master's. Actually, I was very involved in vaccine activism and communication. And I happened to go to university very close to one of our board members where he was working. So we kind of got in touch through that, and been there since.
That's awesome. And Bridget?
Yeah, so I've been with March for Science since literally like day one. The day after my birthday, January 25th, 2017, I had Science is Real on my birthday cake, and I didn't realize yet how big it would be. And I've been mostly part of the communications team. In 2017, I did everything from like facilitating partnerships with content creators to answering, our going through our viral inbox. And since then, I've been doing kind of more mostly on the communications team and work in the social media. Now I do content and production. In addition to the other stuff. My scientific background is in anthropology, particularly like evolutionary medicine and medical anthropology, and I'm focused on maternal infant health. And right now I'm working on a project involving maternal experiences during the pandemic.
That's awesome. Yeah, well, we're really lucky to have you. I know every time that we're having a group chat or anything, being surrounded by people that have a ton of scientific background is always very helpful. And for everybody at home, you probably already know that this week has been full of both political news and science news and everything in between. But it's been an especially busy week for our organization in general. Just this week, we launched our Let's Get Vaccinated series with an all-star lineup. Hundreds of y'all signed up for our vaccine booster program. And later on in this show, we'll be talking about another program that will be launching just next week. So just to start us off, Rachel, could you give us an overview of what happened during the Let's Get Vaccinated forum?
Yeah, it was such a great show that we had. We hosted Dr. Angie Rasmussen from University of Washington, I think she's at now. She's a virologist. She's wonderful. And Alyssa Milano, who is an actress, and an activist who's very involved in speaking about vaccine distribution among equitable populations. And we had Dr. Hussein Lalani, who is a member of one of our newest partners, This Is Our Shot, #ThisIsOurShot, which is a great movement working with physicians and healthcare workers to encourage them and teach them how to be their patients and their own network's point source for any questions about the vaccine that they may have. So we had a really great discussion with the three of them, and I'm sure you can find that on our Facebook and social media and YouTube channel, which is brand new.
Yeah. No, that's perfect. And then out of that same program came the vaccine booster program. Could you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so This Is Our Shot is a really great organization that works with physicians, but not everybody is obviously in healthcare. And we really wanted to be able to help the larger population who's not involved in healthcare or in science necessarily, or just people who, like science and who are really interested in making a difference. We wanted to teach all of you how to be your community's point person. So if you have a friend who says, I'm thinking about getting this vaccine, but I'm worried about, how I'm going to feel the day after, we want to teach you how best to communicate with them to make them feel comfortable getting this vaccine so that we can eventually transition out of the COVID full world into a COVID free world.
Oh, that's awesome. And later on in next week, Wednesday at 5 p.m. Central, we'll have an entirely new show for you, and it's called Black in STEM. And it's going to focus a lot on the experience of Black people who are in the fields of science, technology, engineering, and math. And it's going to focus a lot on also the dynamics that people reach into before they even hit the lab. So if you know anyone who would be interested on coming into the show, or any artwork that you may have or content ideas that you may have for that show, please stay tuned into our Facebook page as well as our YouTube page to see that content. It's a program that I'm personally very, very excited about. And speaking of content, Bridget, could you talk a little bit about what the content team is up to?
Right, so the content team works really closely with our research team to kind of take our 4 major areas of interest: democracy, climate, public health, and COVID, and justice, and kind of translate that into digestible content for our platforms. We're also kind of recruiting advocates to be vaccine boosters, and share their thoughts and feelings about the vaccine and what factored into their decision to get it. So we need volunteers for that. They'll be making Twitter threads, vlogging for us, selfies. We're into other creative ideas too. And we're also doing a lot of visual work. Right now we're working on kind of fleshing out the look and feel of our programming, like this kind of program. And later we hope to develop infographics and video content. And we're always looking for volunteers in static and motion graphics as well. And as of last week, we have a new Facebook group. It's a kind of smaller, more intimate group than our larger group, and it's oriented around science memes. And we are having a ball in there. We have some really hilarious volunteers who are making memes, and we encourage you to join this group, even if you don't know how to make memes. If you just like funny science stuff or think you're really funny, come and have a ball with us. And if you're interested, we'll like kind of help give like tips and information on how to make memes, and help us develop our content in kind of this creative way. Every Friday we put up a poll where we vote for the best original meme from that week, which is then featured in our group header the following week, and competition is fierce. So yeah, and tomorrow the content team will be having a meetup at 4 p.m. Eastern. Anybody can come. And that's along with other team meetups that are happening tomorrow.
Yeah. Perfect. No, and thanks for bringing that up, Bridget. All the volunteer teams do meet up. We meet up bi-weekly, and tomorrow's our day. So starting at noon tomorrow, I want to encourage every one of y'all that are watching this or that will watch this to come to one of our meetups where you can meet not only volunteers, but hear more of the behind the scenes updates. So at 12 p.m. Central Time, again, that's Chicago time, you can join the field team, which focuses on more person-to-person outreach. At 1 p.m., you can join the data team, which focuses on bringing in all the different data points that we have whenever we're tracking a project and then making that more usable. At 2 p.m., you can join the research team, which helps us research and fact check a lot of stuff that you'll see on the internet. And they're really great gatekeepers for a lot of the information that we're going to be putting out. And at 3 p.m. Central, you can join Bridget and the rest of the content team and check that out. I really encourage, even if you feel like you're not an artist, joining Bridget. She's awesome, and she'll be able to put you to work. And then lastly, at 4 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern, you can join our newest team, the finance team. And these are going to be volunteers who we train in the arts of grassroots fundraising. But really the fundraising that each of you have been doing, whether you share our donation link or you mention us on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram or wherever, makes a huge difference. This is still a grassroots organization. And if you don't see yourself represented within any of these groups just yet, that's completely fine. We're going to put a volunteer link into the description where you can tell us more about yourself, and into the comment section, and you can register for later events and still get all of the volunteer updates that we send out. And if you can't volunteer, your schedule is packed, that's okay. Like I said, the financial support that our donors have given us over the past 2 months and over the years has been really what helps keep the light on and helps keep people like me and programs like this still coming for you and still getting all the information to you that you need. And with that said, I want to thank everybody who's watching at home, and I want to thank my amazing co-hosts, Bridget and Rachel, for coming and taking a little bit of time out of your Friday to talk about March for Science.
Thank you, Cody.
What to do.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, y'all.
Bye, everyone.